welcome back to my tip of the week, or should I call it tip of the month? And if I get any worse, I might have to call it tip of the year. But I have a tip anyway. I have this handy new gadget on my Innova, and it is a Fabric Advance, which is awesome. However, what has happened is it changed the bar here. So my canvas leader, this center line in here, used to be lined up with the center line across here. But that bar has changed because of the way that that is set up. So I have one of two choices. I can take my canvas off and then tape it back on, shifted that way, and use this mark. Or I can change this mark, and I had the measuring tapes sewn on there and they were centered nicely. So I had to decide, is it easier to rip them off and sew on new ones, or is it easier to take my canvas on for a second time? So I guess I decided to rip these off and put new ones on. So I guess one of the tips I have for you is it's important that your center here and your center over there match up. Otherwise, every quilt you stitch is going to be stitched like a parallelogram instead of a rectangle. And the best way to make sure that these are across from each other is to make your mark on one of them. This side or that side, doesn't matter, but for me, this side is going to be right and that side is going to get changed. I need to lock my wheel so that my machine cannot go side to side. So I'm using this clamp. Don't ask me where I bought it, but I'm guessing it's at my Home Away from Home, which is also Home Depot. And it's a little woodworking clamp. I'm going to clip that wheel, or clamp it on that wheel, so that it's tight, and my machine cannot move now from side to side. It's locked. Okay? This is if you don't have a channel lock. If you have a channel lock, you can set that. But it will move backwards and forward. And by doing that, I can now see that straight across, I'm going to roll my canvas up just a little bit more and take this all the way to the throat. And that is where my center mark should be. And I think you can probably see where my old one was, and it's about an inch off from where it should be. It was correct at the time, but it's not correct anymore. So I'm going to draw that mark, and I'm going to reapply my measuring tapes to the canvas. So here's my measuring tape, and I am going to stitch it on there. I'll have to take off my lock now to do that. And you can actually watch me do that in a different tip. If you search measuring tape trick Renae Haddadin, I'm sure it'll come up on YouTube and you can find that. So I'm not going to show it to you now, but there is one warning that you should have before you do that. Make sure before you mark where your center is that here your canvas is rolled up nice and straight. So look right there with the camera. Right here, you want to make sure that your canvas rolled onto your bar straight. Sometimes if you have like twill leaders instead of canvas, that twill, like a pair of denim jeans, sometimes it can twist around. You know how denim, sometimes the seam on your leg, it'll twist like that? Twill will do that too, and so you may have to fiddle with your leaders so that they're rolled up straight so your centers are nice and straight across from each other. And that is this tip of the week.